While we continue to focus in then on National Apprenticeship Week, it just so happens that the week coincides with Racial Equality Week, which I think is incredibly important actually, because we know that black and ethnic minority people are most disadvantaged when it comes to, and more likely to be employed when it comes to opportunities like apprenticeships. And that's something we've surely got to get hold of once and for all and really address it through how do we create the engagement, how do we create the role modelling, how do we even use the apprenticeship levy differently to try and attract young people from those more marginalised backgrounds into things like apprenticeships.
It's very important as well that we look at structural issues and where there may be disadvantage being baked in to how our systems are working. And it's worth reflecting on the fact that BME apprentices make up about 13% of apprenticeships when that's an underrepresentation for the population. But in addition, there's some quite stark research, I think it was Youth Employment UK that put that together, that suggests that a third of young black students haven't really been told about apprenticeships, but it's much less than that for those who are white students. And we have to ask the question about what opportunities are being talked about, being shared, and through what channels, what awareness is there with parents, and how do we make sure that those inequalities in information and advice are being addressed. It is one of the reasons why we would support the Baker Amendment as well, to make sure that apprenticeship opportunities are being talked about and shared in schools. But it is also important for us to think more broadly about structural inequalities. And that's why I'm really pleased that Baroness Doreen Lawrence and Shadow Equality Secretary Annalisa Dodds have been leading a task force, and we will be having a race action plan, which is also being announced. That's important because we've got to look at those inequalities across education, across employment, across society, in inequalities in power, and what we're going to do to address them.
Yeah, I mean, I've often been struck by something someone said to me, one of my black colleagues said to me, if I don't see someone like me, how am I going to feel when I walk in that room? And I think that just echoes out across everything you've just said, really. And
it really does resonate for so many. If you can't see it, you can't be it.
That's right.
And role models are really, really, really important in positions that others then feel they can aspire to. It does make a very big difference.
Absolutely.